you know. Yeah, because the guys in Jamaica and YouTuber here, you don't know. Like I haven't done a walk and talk in a minute. Well, this is a cycle and talk, and I don't know if you're going to hear me because of the wind and whatever, but I don't really see the big deal. I don't know, like daily, your experiences change, or lifestyle and everything they kind of change, and depends on how I feel in the morning when I wake up. I mean, my feelings about being black in Japan change as well, right? And I'm not gonna say that this place is like a bloody war zone for racism or xenophobia, because those two things are different and they're not mutually exclusive, and there's some overlapping, but people use them interchangeably, which is wrong. It's not wrong, but it's not the right way to go about it. And I'm not going to say that I'm an authority on anything. I'm just saying, let's just look at things in perspective. Now, what a lot of people try to do is project their own expectations, their stereotypes, their preconceived ideas on people, and try to almost like, is it censor? Not censor, but kind of shut people down for expressing their opinions and their experiences. Now, only you can, have your experience and react to things a certain way. Everybody has a different threshold, I'm not trying to sound too deep or whatever, but I'm just saying, you can't tell someone that their experience is not valid, or that's not true. It's not true for you. That's not your experience. And you can agree to disagree, but you don't have to end up agreeing with somebody. Oh, being black in Japan is the best thing in the world. There's no such thing as racism. You're doing it for the views. You little hypocrite, you liar. I'm like, okay, that's your experience and that's your friend's experience. But everyone has different experiences in life, whether as an English teacher or as an engineer or even in a workplace. Even with your banks and financial institutions, people have different experiences with companies. And so therefore, what we need to do is find the aggregate, basically, the average experience of a person living in Japan as a black person. Different areas, different cities, different lifestyles, different professions, different periods of stay, different lengths of stay, vacation as opposed to living here. To truly get a good idea of what living in Japan is as a black person is. But nobody got no time for that. They just want these things punching. They want everything just to be told to them as straight, hard, cut and fast. Nothing is cut, black and white. So they did there, literally. There are some areas of gray. And the nuance and the difference in culture and the difference in backgrounds, all those things add up and factor in your experience and how you react to certain things in Japan. Now, I grew up in a country where the motto is out of many one people. Think about out of many one people. So we have people of different races in Jamaica and different ethnicities. So growing up, I saw Asians, I saw Indians, I saw white people, I saw black people. And what are the races there? What are the ethnicities there? If there's an ethnicity, it exists in Jamaica, right? So first time I came to Japan, I was a bit taken aback when people were staring at me. I'm like, you've never seen a black person before? Please, and so initially I was a bit taken aback by all the staring and the attention I would get, whether I was well groomed, whether I had an outlandish hairstyle, whether I had no beard. No matter what I did in my 3 years living here, I still get stared at. So I said, what, screw that crap. After a year I was like, what, screw that. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do and be me. And that's kind of what transpired, living here in Japan. Now, because of my background, where we don't necessarily have racism per se, but more like classism in Jamaica, I never, I only experienced racism when I went to like outright racism when I went to, where did I go? When I went to America. Oh, shit. When I went into this Mikasa store and this lady was following us around because she thought we were going to break or steal some of the things. Mikasa is an expensive vase or vase store, whatever, in America. Now, in Japan, they are more subtle or covert manifestations of racism and xenophobia here. Some are direct, yes, or overt, but most of them are kind of like subtle shots and passive aggressions and microaggressions. And so people probably don't even recognize what they're doing or recognize it as racism or xenophobia. So I mean, it's really about how you feel. And the thing is, racism is not about the person's intent, but it's how the victim or the person who's receiving it reacts. You know what I mean? So you can have all the good intentions. Like for example, when my kids used to call me gorilla, no, or monkey. No, historically that word has a negative connotation and innotation for black people because we were seen as less than human. Now in Japan, black and white foreigners are also called gorillas. Or Japanese, the kids call everybody gorilla once you're hairy or you look different or whatever. Now to them, it seems innocent, fun and a joke, but to somebody who is black and experienced being called certain names associated with that gorilla monkey thing, then it's a totally different ball game right there. So you can't have a myopic view on things, right? So you have to get like these Japanese people say, hey, I teach my kids, hey guys, you can't say these words, especially to foreigners, because it's offensive or it's a bad word to say, you know? Because if they stay in Japan, they can do all that crap they want. When they go into the real world or into the world where there's let's say people that are less tolerant of that sort of thing, it might get ugly. And you know, just want them to have the best experience in the world. You don't want them going to college and calling a black person, hey monkey, come here, or hey, you're a monkey. It won't end well for them. So that's kind of our roles as teachers here in Japan, to teach and impart not only English but knowledge, you know. You know, without too long. Secondly, more recently I've had the experience where I've been like walking home from work and people are running away from me. Like, what? Are you serious? Do I look that scary? I mean, what the hell, Japan? Like, I was walking home, I came to the stoplight and this lady was like right there beside me. She did a hello. Then she felt, okay, fine, you know, that's good. Homegirl starts walking away because the light changed. And each time she takes, let's say, another 10 steps, she looks back at me. But I was in my phone and looking up and walking home, listening to music. So I look up again, she's looking back at me, and she starts to jog. Really? So homegirl is jogging and jogging. And then she looks back again, and then she starts to sprint until she's about 100 meters away from me. This happened once. 2 days later, in the same week, the same thing happened to me with a different woman. And at one point I was frustrated and said, hey, Hayaku. So I'm saying, run away, it's a dangerous guy in here. You know, there are some preconceptions that they have that are so stupid and outdated, you know, and it can be annoying at sometimes. But being Jamaican in Japan is really dope because dancehall and reggae is really big here, and there's a big enough scene for you to get like exposure. There's lots of dance and stuff and cultural workshops that they have, dance workshops. And so a lot of Japanese people go to Jamaica to learn the dance, come back here and teach it and spread the culture. What I hope is that the Jamaicans are capitalized in terms of getting getting the recognition, making it intellectual property and monetizing it, which I doubt they're doing. But there's a big opportunity here. These people are charging like 2,000 yen a class, 1,500 yen a class for an hour of dancing, which we as Jamaicans do naturally with ease and elegance and swag and suaveness. Also, I mean, the fact that lots of my kids don't know where Jamaica is, or people in general in Japan don't know where Jamaica is, and so I guess to give information. It gets kind of tired though when they ask if Jamaica is in Africa, and I guess they assume because you're black, you come from Africa. When I guess indirectly we do kind of come from Africa. We do. We're from West Africa actually, Jamaicans. Yeah. But Jamaica is in the Caribbean for those who don't know. What? Oh crap! What happened? The ambulance is back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My thoughts of being black in Japan after 3 years. 3 years after that BBC interview that I did, and after the exposure I got, which I thought I would have gotten more, but it's whatever. Also, I did a video. I had to take a quick stop. Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I did a video with Rachel and June about being black in Japan, and subsequent to that, I got a little exposure to the BBC. They wanted to do an interview with me on Skype, but we actually did it, and then they ran out of time on the program, and so they had to cut that interview and just do a written article instead. I'll leave a link down below. But yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, most of my experience have been good here in Japan, but a few bad experiences I've had I think can have sorry, yeah. So yes, most of my experience here in Japan have been good. But you know, the few bad experiences can really have a major impact on your perspective and make you even more guarded, you know. And because of previous person's experiences, you kind of watch to see what's happening. I have friends that have never had a negative experience here in Japan, according to them, or they don't view it as negative, you know, and that's good for them. I view things a bit differently. I try to be as balanced as possible in everything in life, you know what I mean, and that's just how you should do it. Be balanced. Oh, Antonio. Right. Also, I mean, this is not anything about being racist or xenophobic, but sometimes, you know, I have coworkers that can speak English very well, and when they are around me, they start speaking in Japanese, and some don't know I can speak Japanese well enough to understand when they're talking shit about people. And you think Japanese people are so pure and whatever. Don't think for a minute that they're not like people. Japanese people are just like people, or maybe even worse. You know, I always wonder, like, even with the kids in my class, they say they hate Chinese people or they hate Koreans. I'm like, why? And they're unable to tell me why. Like a real reason. Some silly foolishness, like what? They're loud. I'm like, yeah, you're loud in my class. What are you talking about being loud? Oh shoot, what happened? Uh-oh, someone not doing too well there. Oh, look at the sakura. One second, let's look at the beautiful sakura. This is what Japan is about. The kawaii stuff. You know, they don't want to get too much into the serious things. But yeah, if at that young age you're inculcating in your children that Chinese people are this and that, when they get older, they're going to keep on perpetuating that stereotype. You know what I mean? Man, I'm telling you, man, this place can be good and it can be bad for some. And it depends on where you live as well. That will factor in, because Tokyo doesn't really care. Tokyo has so many foreigners there. They're almost like whatever when they say Japanese person, a foreigner. Now, when you live elsewhere where there's less foreigners, then you might get a totally different reaction. And you know, some foreigners make it bad for us too. You know, do some really weird ass crap and bad-ish that I won't talk about. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm in between. Sometimes I do something bad, sometimes I do something good to kind of make up for it. You know? I try to keep balance. You know what I mean? Damn. Woo. But yeah, I don't know if that kind of answered anybody's questions about being black in Japan. In 2017, things have changed. I think more often than not, persons have become much more accepting of foreigners and becoming much more knowledgeable about black people. And the more that you can teach them is the better for us all. Alright, so see you in the next video. If you like this video, I might do some more writing and talking stuff. And so yeah, see you in a bit. Peace out. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Okay, guys?